Hi, and welcome back to Flowers. It's still summertime, but maybe not for long. I think that we are finally winding down here in Flowers Land. The last time we were together, we basically kind of got the big emotional endings out of the way. We got the true ending, we got the Dahlia ending, we got the lovers ending, and I feel that those are like the most probably emotionally feelsy endings that we're gonna see. Maybe. I don't know. This game's fooled me before. We got all the bad endings, so now we're here to just kind of do cleanup. I don't think that these are gonna take quite as long because they jump much later in the story, whereas all of the other endings we've had to do so far, we've had to start from the from the start of the game, and then make all the decisions again. But the saves are set up now so that we can just kind of jump into later portions of the game and do what we need to do. So, don't know how long this video is going to be, but we're just going to roll with it for now. So with this, we need to jump to our save 6. So, something I should tell you about this series, and this is true for every game, is do not press the next button after immediately loading a file. Always make sure to advance one text box before pressing the next button or the game will crash. It's just something to do with the text not loading properly. So you need to like go one more text box in before you can press the next button. And then we will now choose there's no point in that now. I have to show her that her parents aren't all that she's got. That there are other people who care about her. This is really sad. Never mind, I thought we were over the sad. This is a really sad way to approach this. There's no point in that. I don't even want to pick that. Oh, I hate it. No, there's no point in that now. When I look across at Chidori's open smile, I realize it's unnecessary.
またらしくない真似をするところだったよ。と、さっさと食べないと冷めちまうな。
I feel like we just aborted on a very emotional moment. I hurriedly stuff a bite of cutlet into my mouth while it's still warm. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunately lost its crispness. Oh well, it bringing good luck is just a silly superstition anyway.
なんだよ。私の分はやらないぞ。そのらしくない真似というの。
Oh? Word?
私してみてもいいかしら。
What you got? She hangs her head, but it seems she's just blushing this time rather than struggling with anything.
お願いがあるの。明日の発表会で。
Oh, word? Of course. Of course, I blush myself when I hear my ETA partner's requests. And I think it's, you know. Yeah, I think they're gonna kiss again, basically. Like I'm pretty sure. We'll run through this. Yeah, it's still skipping, so I'm pretty sure. I don't think anything changes here. I know that this is like the most emotionally impactful way to handle this moment is skipping through it. But you don't get the CG this time. Oh no, wait, we're doing it again! Oh crap! Wait. Hold on. You can't actually access the next button during special scenes like this. I goofed! It's the finale and I've already goofed! I've botched my big performance! Okay. So I'm going to assume that we're going to jump to the credits and then another scene after the credits. There's a hint of autumn in the air as September draws to a close. and my memories of the ballet recital are starting to fade with the summer. However,
ねえねえ、
hey,
ピルエ
how you
ットを
doing?
踊るとき綺麗に回れないんだけど、どうすればいいのかな。ピルエット？そうね。
It would seem that the fires stoked in my classmates on seeing their idol go all out at the recital are still burning.
グランフェッテやピルエットなんかの回転系は私よりも彼女の方が得意だから。
As I'm watching the class, the president turns to Chidori.
高崎さん、指導
She
お
more
願い
like-
できるかしら。
Is she more, like, integrated?
構わないわ。
Yeah, she seems more affable. She's still a bit taciturn, but she rarely lets her emotions show on her face, but
ごめん、千鳥ん教えてくれる？いいわ。私の前でピルエットを見せてくれるかしら。
compared to before, there's a marked difference in the impression she gives off. She watches with a serious expression as the elder Sasaki sister stands on her tiptoes and uses her arms to propel herself around in a spin. There's a line in the movie Sanjuro. You're like a drawn sword, sharp, naked without a sheath. You cut well, but good swords are kept in their sheaths. While the core of her personality hasn't changed, it's as though the sharp edges she bore before have been wrapped in a soft, warm sheath, which is why...
どうかな。そうね。腕は回転を助けるためしっかり触れているわ。でも頭が動いてしまっている。首をつけなくてはダメよ。首をつける？首ちゃんとあるよ。
She puts her hand on her throat and tilts her head quizzically. Chidori narrows her eyes, but patiently explains what she means.
みんなも受け入れ始めている。
People no longer go out of their way to avoid her. They talk to her without hesitation, and she responds in kind. In fact, it feels like I'm the one who's not changing.
変わる。
Every morning she helps me dress and brings me breakfast. Then she takes me to class and we sit through our morning lessons. We have lunch in our room, then go back for more lessons. If either of us has something to do with class, we accompany the other until closing time. Then it's back to the dorms for dinner, after which she helps me bathe. Our daily routine is just the same as before. No, there's one thing that's different. Chidori has taken over with helping me bathe from Sister Basquiat. Yeah, that one little thing. The ballet recital's over and done with, and turns to a lingering memory as September moves leisurely on. Time passes by, and our daily life remains the same. No, what I'm doing is the same, but the way I feel the passage of time itself is changing. When you're struggling with something, time becomes a cage, and the days pass sluggishly. When you're filled with hopes and dreams, time flies by, and you become all the more aware that you can never get it back. Our bodies are changing, and our hearts. When the ballet recital's finished, I enjoy a languid period inside time's cage, while Chidori, for her part, is flustered to find it rushing past. Aww. It's immediately after the ballet recital is over that I first realize how Chidori is trying to change. We've inherited the job of looking after the rabbits from Yatsushiro-senpai. While she's giving them their hay, I go fill the watering can and bring it back, cringing as it soaks my knees. I hand her the can and Chidori pours fresh water into their drinking bowls.
バレエに向き合おうと思っているの。
At first, I don't really understand what she's saying.
お前ほど熱心にバレエの授業をやっているやつはいないだろうが。
My amitié partner elaborates.
学院を出て、もう一度バレエと向き合ってみようと思っているの。
Oh. She says it without any emotion. Her words hit me like a ton of bricks, though, and I remain silent. Or rather, I open and close my mouth like a fish, but unable to find the right response. I finally settle on saying nothing at all. However,
また、秘密の湖へ行ってみないか。
I find myself instinctively ducking the issue in order to put off having to respond properly.
できた！これできたよね！
Proud of you.
ええ、一点だけを見つめるの。そうすれば、酔ってしまうこともないわ。
Chidori speaks to her like she's tutoring a little kid. She instructs her charge to keep going over it while it's fresh in their memory, then walks over to me.
飲み物もらえる？ああ、どうぞ、お姫様。
She smiles at my joke, takes the proffered flask, and gulps down thirstily what's inside. Gazing at her white throat, I know that I have to give her my conclusion soon.
ありがとう。
When I fail to take the flask back, she looks at me with a strange expression, both confused and somewhat melancholy. I look back at my amitié partner.
例の秘密の湖なんだが、次の安息日に行かないか。
Going to the lake. We're going to the lake. Are we going to keep our clothes on this time? I turn over in bed for what feels like the 100th time this night. Every time I close my eyes, I find myself wondering about what the heck I'm going to say tomorrow.
いい加減ケリをつけようとしたが、明日でなくてもいいだろうよ。
Oh, dang. I should have known that our next day off was this Sunday. In other words, tomorrow. But in my impatience to escape this limbo, I'd just thrown it out there without thinking.
自分の気持ちに正直になればいいだけだ。
How hard could it be? Super easy. As soon as we met, I wanted to get rid of her. And after spending a bit of time together, I was so fed up of her that I wanted her gone even more. But now... Oh, that hurts. The idea that we'll only be together until we graduate is enough to bring my spirits down. Should she quit before then?
白羽の気持ちが分かっていたようで、本当は理解していなかったんだな。
I'd been getting fed up at Shirahane for being such a girl and thought that she would just hurry up and forget about Kosaka. But now that I'm in the same position, I feel like I finally understand. Yeah, that medicine doesn't feel good, does it? I'd given Shirahane a push, telling her to be honest about her feelings and find out the reason Kosaka had quit. But my situation is different. Is it okay for me to be honest? My amitié partner transferred here because she was suffering from an ailment known as Alice in Wonderland syndrome. But her symptoms have now cleared and she's no longer seeing the specter of her underclassmen, which means there's no reason for her to stay here. No reason. Oh, poor Erica. The conclusion I come to is that this is for the best, but that answer weighs heavily on me, making my chest hurt like the squeeze of a vice. I let out a long, heavy sigh. The night passes without me sleeping a wink. Dang, girl. The day of reckoning dawns! The weather detestably good. Just like the last time we were here, the Emerald Lake lies calm and still, and the trees cast cool shadows. And we're almost naked! Let's go! Seeing Chidori in such an unusually high spirits has the opposite effect on my mood, because I know that this time together can't last forever.
またボートに乗る？いや、少し涼もう。9月とはいえまだ暑いしな。
We move under the shadow of a tree and stare out in the lake together. A gentle breeze ruffles Chidori's hair, bringing that lovely scent of peaches wafting over. I tear my gaze away from the water and instead look at Chidori's handsome profile.
どうしたの？私に見とれたの？
I mean, yeah.
下着姿のやつが隣にいるとどうにも落ち着かないってだけさ。目の保養にはなる。
There you go.
さ、だったらたくさん見るといいわ。
Damn, they're so good together. She spins around for me. The dappled sunlight falling through the foliage dances across her body. It's captivating, but then an inescapable feeling of emptiness swallows me up.
ホテルカリフォルニアからの脱出。
Oh.
おめでとう。え？チェックインするのはたやすくても立ち去ることはできない。
I'd meant to wait for the right time to broach the subject, but I can't stop myself.
そう。聞こえていたのね。お前が前に話してくれたように、
この学院に転入したことは不本意だったんだろう。目の病のこともあった。だが症状も治まって後輩のことも吹っ切れたようだし、もともと掲げていた目標に向かって邁進するのは正しい。
私
She cuts me off, although her tone lacks strength. When I look up at her, she appears to be deep in thought.
私父母からこの学院に転入させられた時見捨てられたのだと思ったわ。体のいい乳母捨て山のようだって。ここの生活はまるで映画のセットのようだった。私の目には現実感がなかったのよ。そうでしょ？
After all, I felt that I'd been abandoned, she murmurs, her eyes narrowing.
でも灰色だった学院生活を過ごしていく中で徐々に色をなしていったの。それは
Man.
エリカ、あなたと過ごせたからよ。
Again, there was a really, really, really great moment earlier where they showed that actually happening, and it was very sweet. Emotion wells up in me at the sight of her smile, and I find myself unable to speak.
だがそれはダメだ。
This girl, she's arrogant, easily takes things the wrong way, and acts like she doesn't give two hoots about anyone else, and yet...
だからね、あの時は外の世界でバレエと向き合ってみようと言ったけれど、ずっと考えてみて、それで
お前は優しいな。
She really is such a kind girl. Here, at the last moment, she's chosen to hide her true feelings and tell a sweet lie out of concern for me, the one who will be left behind.
私の家族も優しかったよ。足がこれの上に皮肉屋の私の面倒をよく見てくれた。だけどな、その優しさが私には辛かったんだ。
朗読劇を終えた日の夜に話してくれたことね。
ああ、父母は私のことをよく理解してくれた。ほとんど仕事で家にいなかったから、二人の姉が主に面倒を見てくれたんだけどな。一番上の姉が介助をよくしてくれて、二番目の姉は一人になってからも生きていけるように、いろいろなことを教えてくれた。
But then, before I left for the academy, something happened. I overheard a secret conversation between my sisters. My eldest sister confessed that she was relieved I was going away, and she would no longer have to care for me. My other sister criticized her for feeling that way, and I heard it all. Heard them owning up to their true feelings.
ひどいわ。
その時は衝撃を受けたが、ひどくなんかないんだよ。姉には姉の人生がある。
Oh, it's rough.
私のせいで姉の夢がついえるのは嫌だ。
I go on to explain how if, after that, we'd continued to pretend to have a perfect sisterly relationship, it would have been detrimental to both me and her.
私を海外しく解除する優しい姉という仮面を脱ぎ、自分の人生を選んでくれたことを私は嬉しく思う。だからな、千鳥、お前も自分に嘘をつかなくていい。
私は嘘なんて。
Nah, come on.
私はもう諦めたけれど、家族と両親と仲良くなりたいんだろう。バレエだって今以上に踊りたいんだ。そうだろ。
父母のことはもう
You're still you're hemming and hawing, and you're trying to hold on to the lie because you want to protect Erica now.
私みたいに諦めることはないんだよ。お前はよくやってる。娘が嫌いな親なんている
I
わ
don't
け
know
が
about
ない。
that. I've seen some pretty bad relationships. Oh my god. Ah! Oh, it's too much. That's too much. Chidori bursts into tears and throws her arms around my neck, clinging to me. I smile and stroke her
お
head.
前を心配して転入させたんだよ。よくなったって。
It's the
両
wrong
親を安心
here.
させてこい。
It's the wrong one.
エリカ、私ね。
I gently stroke her hair as she stumbles over her words, trying to form a sentence. My beloved Amitie partner.
私はきっと家族が欲しかったんだ。互いに全てを許し、許される。
I'm sure that what I'm feeling right now is first love, but
お前のことを
oh,
家族だと思っているよ。
I'll put a lid on those feelings and label them that way instead. If I don't,
家族。
そうだ。本当は離れたくなんかない。でも家族なら何をしていても、どの空の下にいてもつながっているだろう。
I would only hold Chidori back, stop her from spreading her wings.
卒業したら一番に会いに来てくれるのよね。
当たり前だ。
Oh,
来るなって言ったって押しかけてやるよ。
the breakup that's not a breakup. Ah, it sucks, dude. I laugh, but my trembling voice betrays me.
顔ぐしゃぐしゃよ、エリカ。
お前もだろうが。
Oh. We embrace, sobbing like children, and make a promise to one another. And that promise will be our secret. But if we see it through, when I leave this school and go out into the world myself with a bunch of spider lily in hand, I'll go to her, to my precious family, my Amitie. Where? Oh, okay, man. Yeah, all right. Okay, these alternate endings actually hit real hard, don't they?
あの日
Ugh.
わからなかったこの気持ち
I don't know why I didn't expect it. This series, like this game in particular, has kind of really had big feels on display. I got a feeling that going forward, our feelings are something that is we're not gonna be able to protect going forward. I kind of feel like this series is gonna do a number on us, folks. 'Y'all, I don't know if you noticed this yet. This series is kind of good. Ah. All right. No, you're probably sitting there blubbering, but we're not done yet. There's still more. All right. Let's just jump right into it. Let's just rip the bandage off. So we need to do save 7. Okay. And then next. All right. The way I feel about her, this is the branch where I believe we would go down Dahlia path if we went to the woman I idolize. So something different's gonna happen here because we think about how we feel about Chidori, but the lily is not bloomed yet. The feelings I have are so strong it's almost torturous. I squirm as the heat rises to my face and floods through my body. Why am I acting like such a girl? Am I being a girl? I look over at my sleeping ETA partner and let out a long sigh as though to expel the heat that's pent up inside me. I put a hand to my red cheek, then rake it roughly through my already messy hair. Alright, I think we can move on now. Your legs will get fat. The president continues to glare. I decide to answer seriously.
バレエを学んでる者はな、座るときは体育座りか、足の裏をくっつけて座るあぐらもどきなんだよ。
なんであぐらとかって可愛く
It's
ないの
yeah, it looks a little weird.
理由は単純。お前がしているいわゆる女の子座りはな。
そうなの
You build up too much muscle in your thighs that way, I think, or
だから
something.
基本、体育座りかあぐらもどきの二択になるんだ。
Hearing this, she obediently shifts position, saying that there's no way she wants her legs looking gross. Who wants their legs looking gross? Nobody.
ダイヤモンドの制約。
Okay. Maybe I should do a diary.
私も日記でもつけてみるかな。
Chidori stops eating.
やめた方がいい
No, don't. Yours would be stupid. She's blunt in response. Why not, I protest. Handling her fork as elegantly as she might in etiquette class, she shoots back an answer.
エリカが日記をつけると
Your diary would be a horror story!
恨みつらみを書いてっておい。
I have like 2 entire books for just you!
なくても捏造しそうよね
Even I can agree with that, and all I can do is mutter about how glad I am to have an ETA partner who really gets me. Yeah! Yeah. Alright. I honestly don't know.
正直、
There's no lie in my words, and I think the president can sense that. She thinks to herself for a moment, her expression troubled.
以前から妥協しない踊りをすると思っていたけれど最近の彼女は異常だわ挑戦というより自暴自棄にも見えるくらいに
私もそう思うよ。
It warms my heart to see her genuine concern for her classmate. We really couldn't have a better class president than Rika Hanabishi.
やっぱり面と向かって聞くしかないわ
Alright. I'm just doing my duty. And you know what they say about a life without duty? This is our first conversation in a while, and she heads straight for my weak spot.
義理だよ。以前話しただろ。
義理が廃ればこの世は闇よってやつよねそう義理
Duty.
義理ね
Duty. A world without duty. If you got a world without duty, then a lot of people would have very sore stomachs, I think. This is not the kind of joke you should be making while playing the classy Yuri visual novel, is it? I just like... Why is anybody watching this at this point? I literally ruin everything I touch. Chidori's arrogant eyes capture and hold me. I feel like she can see right through me and avert my gaze. An awkward tension settles between us. Okay, so I think this is where we're going. A quote from the movie The Hairdresser's Husband, one that I want to firmly repudiate. Wait, which one was it? That's right, once again, they're disappear. Women are like crosswords. The harder to get, the sweeter they are. I'm not sure I'm not some Don Juan type Lothario. Women with issues just put me on edge. Chidori spends the night elsewhere as she said she would, and I don't see her in the morning either. I see her in the distance during morning prayers, in the back of her head during our morning classes, but nothing seems all that different. Although I do spot her in the corridor having a long, involved conversation with Sister Basquiat, whom I've never really seen her speak with before. Then, the dress rehearsal begins, first thing in the afternoon. The real thing will be taking place tomorrow, and this run-through is... well, it's a disaster, to the point where I feel like the only saving grace is that we got through it without any injuries. Chidori makes so many mistakes in her technically difficult dance that she has the audience cringing. As I watch her dance, her troubled gaze lands on me before she turns back to the stage as though some specter is there haunting her. But I'm not given any opportunity to talk to my disconsolate métier partner.
勝手に自分一人で悩んでいるんじゃねえよ。
Perhaps she doesn't feel like she can face me. Just like the previous day, she doesn't return to our room at all. Okay. What was it again? Techniques that utilize the arms involve everything from the scapula down to the hands. I turn my attention to the audience, separated from me by the stage curtain, as I go over the fundamentals of dance in my head. Judging from the voices I can hear, the attendees have already taken their seats and are waiting for the curtain to rise. It's not just the other students who have shown up today, but the whole faculty, even the principal, who's never usually seen around school.
だからどうしたって言うのよ。
I've danced before bigger audiences than this. It doesn't make sense for me to be this nervous, and yet... in my distorted vision, I see my old underclassman waiting there in the wings. Her head is lowered, facing the ground. Ever since I acknowledged my feelings for Erica, this ghost from my past has been haunting me.
あなたからすれば認められないわよね。
Guys, I think this is going to be a bad ending. I don't like where this is going. I don't like how this is feeling at all. Oh, why are we ending on the bummer ending? Why didn't we do it on true ending or something? I vowed to myself that I'd excel in her place, that I'd become the ballet dancer she no longer could. But from that incident on, the harder I tried to dance, the more distorted my vision became, and I found myself unable to perform. I silently addressed her. Must have been really frustrating to deal with, huh? And when my vision finally cleared and I could dance again, the person I was dancing for shifted from her, from my ghost, to Erica.
私の前に姿を現しても。高崎さん、そろそろ開演よ。
That's such a cute outfit, my god. I nod and step forward to take my place center stage. It scares me. It scares me that I can't see her face. What expression is she hiding? Is she angry? Is she jealous? Or is she smiling out of consideration for me like when I went to see her in the hospital? As goosebumps begin to stipple my flesh, I clasp my arms tight and focus my mind. Right. This is just like when we did the recitation. I'll show them the difference between between an amateur and a pro. I adjust my costume, place my hands in front of my chest in a mime gesture that indicates sleep, and give myself a final inner pep talk as I quietly wait for the curtain to rise. Are we doing it all again? Okay. Okay. I address this to my underclassmen waiting in the wings, and I take a deep breath, expel it, and nod to the musicians. I guess we're just doing the whole ballet again. If there's anything different, it's not stopping. Okay. So let's see, are we... Yeah, this all seems the same. All right. I gaze out at the sky divided neatly into rectangles by the window panes. The large fluffy clouds you see during the summer are fading, replaced instead by a pretty stippling of the clouds across the sky. The season is shifting into autumn. My everyday life keeps on changing as well. We're back into Erica this time, I believe. I stroke the cover of the book on my lap and consider carrying on reading. It's about time for her to bring my lunch. Not that long ago, I'd wake up every day to the sound of her singing. She'd help me get dressed and bring up our breakfast right about when I'd finished washing my face. After we'd eaten breakfast together, she'd take me to the classroom for lessons as though we were completely normal. However, days of not going to class, just reading and doing whatever I want for as long as I want, hanging around the library. But right now, I simply don't feel like reading. I'm sick of change. To hell with autumn. I roll my wheelchair over to my amitié partner's desk. I stare for a while at the empty table, completely devoid of any personal belongings. My amitié partner disappeared as the season started to turn. The only thing she left behind was her notebook. Those stupid personal notes of hers. I pull open the drawer of my own desk and take out Chidori's notebook. I'd opened it once, when she left, but I haven't looked at it since. I flick through the pages, seeing notes about her favorite lesson, English, and the cutlet I'd recommended to her. Every turn of the page recalls the brief time we'd spent together, our meeting beneath the cherry tree, caring for the rabbits together, the incident that occurred while we were practicing for the recitation, learning violin together in music class, lying in the boat down by the lake, chatting about nothing in particular. And then there was the ballet recital. Up there on the stage, she'd found that a new path had opened for her. Now, staring at her notebook, I wonder if I was able to lighten the heavy burden that Chidori bore, even just a little bit. As I fret over this concern, I continue turning the pages until I spot my own name in a column of things she likes. I gently caress the letters she wrote, spelling out my name. You think I'll forgive you because I love you. It's the opposite. It's because I love you that I can't forgive you for lying. A line from a romance novel I once read comes to mind. She didn't even do me the favor of lying. My amitié partner had vanished from the world without a word. I get it now, I mutter to the autumn sky. Yeah, that don't feel good. I think of my bookworm buddy staring despondently at the metronome in the empty library, and then of Chidori Takasaki, who disappeared without a word, just like Mayuri Kosaka. I murmur to myself as I stroke the page with my name on it, my vision blurring like Chidori's. Oh, that's rough. Ah! That's terrible! Why is that? Oh, I hate it. Congrats, everybody. I ended on the bummer ending. Crap. Oh, man, that's rough. Maybe we'll plan that out better in the future. What happened when we played Sayano Uta? I think that we got the really, really awesome and good ending, and then we got the other ending, which wasn't quite as good. It was still fine, but I wish that, like, you know, for the I guess the cinematic value of the Let's Play, I wish it would have ended on But it wouldn't have made sense to release the videos out of order since you're just kind of reacting in the moment too. So it's just, you gotta roll with what you get. All right. I think we're just about to, what? Hello? Uh-huh. This is true. As the season turned to summer, for the first time, the girl who cherished solitude and silence came to know the joy of love. Oh, that's such a good title screen change. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That's so effing good. Oh, man, I love me a tasteful title screen change. And I had been waiting for one to happen this whole time in this volume. But we got it. We got it. We're not done, though. We're still not done. There's still something we gotta hit. See this down here? Look what happened. Can you even see this behind me? You can't even see it behind me. Hold on. Does this work? No. What? I don't know. Where can I go? Okay. All right. You see this down here? I completely forgot my hotkeys, so I'm just bouncing all over the place. Extra. This just pops up when you finally unlock every ending, which we have done. We have them all now. But there's just something else we need to do. An extra bit of business. So let's do, was it this one? Yeah, all right. All right. All right. What's extra? Let's find out. Oof, that was a belch. When did she become aware of the truth of this academy? Although the height of summer is past, the heat of the day lingers in the moonlit dormitory corridor like a frying pan held against the skin. But this heat isn't enough to put a stop to my thoughts. As I continue along, I think again about what it was that first sparked some understanding of the situation for her. It was probably the Bloody Mary ritual. I deduce that she must have become skeptical when she heard how several third years all quit at the same time. She said herself that she'd looked into it, but while she'd found a lead, she hadn't pursued it. No, it would be more accurate to say that she couldn't pursue it. And if my theory is correct, she couldn't pursue it because it would hurt someone she cared about. While I do understand, I can't help but feel suspicious about the fact that she didn't reveal the truth. Suddenly, as I make my way through the dark forest, I remember the day I arrived at the academy. I'd run into Rika-san, who had been kind to me, but then fled from her out of Oh, this is Suo. Okay. Then, as I made my way along the cherry tree-lined path up to the school, I'd met her, Mayuri Kosaka. No, stop it. Now isn't the time to be dwelling on the past and thereby undermining my resolve. If I grow faint of heart, I won't be able to hold my own against the person I have to confront. I won't be able to get the truth from her unless I come at her with everything I've got. What is going on, dude? As I gaze at the shadow of the chapel in the distance and imagine her waiting there for me, I think back on the chain of events that has led me here. What is going on? There's some shit going on in the background that we just didn't notice because we were too fixated on being in love. The past is like a cheap paperback. Once you've read it, you can throw it away. A quiet Monday morning dawns. I wake up at 6 a.m. as usual and wash my face with cold water. After giving my teeth a good brush, I rouse my amitié partner, who's usually not a morning person. After we've gotten dressed and done our hair, we make our way to the dining hall. And having eating breakfast with everyone, we head to the chapel. We meet with the same familiar faces along the tree-lined path from the dorms to the chapel. Then morning prayers begin. The start of another day, just the same as the one before. Nothing has changed. The Sasakis are in the classroom, always ready to chat and have fun, and Rika, who will discuss anything, is here too. And at the front of the class, our teacher, Sister Basquiat, who's like a mother figure to us. Outside of class, there's Yatsushiro-senpai and Komikado-senpai, who always look out for me. But she's not here. Mayuri Kosaka, the girl I loved and who had loved me back. But the day she disappeared, I'd begged her to please forget about me, even if it hurt. Time will surely heal this pain in my heart. This open wound that I still bear will shrink back to a scab with the chill rains of winter. I hear the familiar sound of a wheelchair. Right, I can't forget you. Oh, Erika-san, I greet my friend, who's smiling her usual cat-like smile at me. Right, just as I was trying my best to forget about my amitié partner, a new breeze blew into the academy and stirred things up. As though to fill the gaps left by those who had left, 6 new transfer students enrolled at the school and became our classmates. They all looked quiet and friendly, the kind of girls who'd fit in well and become friends with us. No, the girl by the window, later I would learn her name was Chidori Takasaki, rejected those around her, as though there was some thin membrane separating her from the rest of the world. I recognized that clearly. She had the same aura as the girl who calls me her bookworm buddy, Erika Yaigaki-san. The other thing that took me by surprise was her physical appearance. She looked vaguely like Mayuri. I had resolved to forget her, but now here was this girl, a shadowy interloper, stirring up my memories of the past. Damn, that's deep. A line from the movie Wings of Desire comes to mind. Was Chidori Takasaki-san's arrival designed to stop me from trying to forget? That's how I envision it, at least. While the new students were settling into the class was rocked by the case of the disappearing bunnies, though Yaigaki-san quickly solved it. The story she told in the chapel was probably half truth and half lie. When she'd borrowed the book on rabbits, I'd been curious to read it too, later realizing that the baby bunnies had been showing certain symptoms of illness, but it wasn't to protect herself that she kept quiet about it. Convinced that it was simply out of kindness, I had pretended not to know anything. This girl's always ahead of everybody! She just already knows! Suo the Super Sleuth. The full heat of summer had struck right around when we were taking our end-of-term tests. Rika-san hadn't mentioned Mayuri once since she disappeared, but one day she just up and hugged me. Perhaps she had noticed that I was acting differently around Takasaki-san, who looked so like Mayuri. Oh. Sometimes you just need a hug.
ごめんなさい。こんな真似をして。でも、あまりにも寂しそうで、張り詰めていたから。
Rika-san's words were sincere. I think I was really suffering back then. I couldn't forget, no matter how hard I tried. The wound wasn't scabbing over, and Takasaki-san's presence was opening fresh ones, though it was through no intention of her own. I'd whispered my thanks, feeling her braids against my neck, and she'd shaken her head.
スオさんが話すまでは、マユリさんの話はしないでおこうと決めていたの。 口に出させてもらうわ。
Oh.
スオさんは耳を塞ぎたいでしょうけど、まゆりさんのことは。
Her words must surely come from a place of concern, but I immediately start to
ご
tremble.
めんなさい。ひどいと思うわよね。でも、これ以上。
I mean, I don't think she's trying to do anything malicious here. She's really coming from a place of like, you could destroy yourself over this. Like, we're just kids. Like, how are we gonna figure this out? You know? Kind of just where I feel like Rika is coming from right now. I say her name, cutting her off, and then thank her.
私もまゆりのことは忘れた方がいいと思っていたの。
She must think I'm awful, but that's okay.
ただ、どうしようもなく彼女を思い出してしまう時があるの。またこうしてもらってもいい？
She nods without a moment's hesitation. I can feel it through the swish of her braids against my neck.
私はまゆりのためにもリッカさんのためにも忘れた方がいい。
Again, I silently make a promise to myself. But things you truly care about don't just disappear. They leave behind dregs, like the sediment at the bottom of a bottle of wine. It was when Yaigaki-san pointed out how those feelings had sedimented deep inside my heart that I really understood what I wanted to do. During the Harvest Festival, I'd wanted to get away from the oppressive hustle and bustle of everything. As though she'd cottoned on to my feelings, Yaigaki-san had taken me to the rabbit hutch where no one else was around and talked to me about different species of tomato. It was a lovely little speech. Then, after talking for a while, she'd said that I didn't seem like I was having fun. I denied it, but she'd responded that she knew exactly what I was going to say. She dug down to the very base of my heart, to parts of myself I didn't want anyone touching.
なぜまゆりは何も言わず学院を去ったのか。
Given her personality and knowing what she did about my situation, it's impossible to think that she'd leave without saying anything. Yaigaki-san had scooped out those doubts I'd been keeping a tight lid on. Resolving to find out the reason she left, I began to do what I could to investigate. So now we're going to find out about, like, the Hookman stuff, right? We're going to find out from her perspective how this all went down. In order to find out what Mayuri was now doing, I had first taken the easiest approach. I had asked Sister Basquiat. It was a simple plan, reliable, but Sister Basquiat had told me nothing, saying only that her decision to quit had been sudden. I understand that she has no right to talk about a student's personal situation. She told me this.
彼女を失って悲しむ気持ちはわかります。でも、前を向いて進んだ方がいい。彼女。
No, it's not, I screamed internally, learning why might prove meaningless. The reason for it may have been trivial. Even so, I felt like I had to know. I felt that if I knew, I could perhaps move on, like Sister Basquiat said. To gather more information, I decided to speak with those classmates and upperclassmen Mayuri had interacted with before she left. But that became difficult when I was tasked with both writing the script for and performing in the recitation. There was also the incident with the script when the scripts went missing because of me. But Yaigaki-san solved that one too. She'd read the difficult role of Rapunzel, and as the curtains came down, I felt like I'd seen a year through her eyes. I'm sure those tears weren't for herself, but for someone else. I felt then that I was truly glad to be her friend. Halfway through August, we took on more classes in the form of etiquette lessons and a second language, as well as an elective class. We could choose between music and gardening. I chose gardening without even having to think about it. My grandfather taught me how to tend to a garden, so I was already familiar with what to do, plus Rika-san wanted me to. She was exceptionally pleased with my recovery. I'm sure it's only natural to want to see your friends happy. I was enjoying my classes and making progress with my quest to learn about Mayuri. She had a large social circle, so it took a while for me to talk with all of them. As I searched for the reason for her departure, or whatever was going on with her home situation, something in particular struck a chord with me. I'd known that Mayuri was a member, of course, but I hadn't realized how passionate she was about it. However, when I heard that she produced several oil paintings before she left, something felt off. There wasn't that much time between her joining the club and leaving the academy. Although I don't have much interest in art myself, I've read that oil paintings are created by layering paint onto a canvas and waiting between coats for it to harden. Sure, it's possible to paint several in a short period of time, but was there a particular reason for her hurry? Suspicion blooms within me. Could she have been rushing to finish them because she knew she would be leaving? I decided that I needed to speak in more detail with someone belonging to the art club, and then, around that time, I was distracted by a falling out between Yaegaki-san and Takasaki-san. Perhaps my suggestion to both of them come play at the lake worked, or that Yaegaki-san take Takasaki-san out on the boat for a chat, because from then on, I felt like the two of them had become even closer than before. Around the time Sister Basquiat announced that the class would have to be holding a ballet recital, I finally finished speaking with all my classmates and any upperclassmen who belonged to the art club. While Mayuri had become good friends with them, it seems she'd remained tight-lipped about her family life. As an extracurricular organization, the art club has strict rules to follow, which expressly forbid non-members from entering the club room, which meant that the only time I had to speak with people was during breaks or the short period of time after getting back to the dorms. There was one thought that I was left with after I'd finished talking with everyone. The urge to see them was very strong. Since non-members aren't allowed in the room, I requested permission from the teacher who acts as the club's advisor, but her answer was no, the rules could not be bent. I'd lost my composure and my conversation with the student teacher turned very heated, especially by my standards. I'd lost any chance I'd had of being invited into the club room, but I couldn't give up. I put on a regulation school raincoat to ward off bugs. With a torch in hand and a blue film across the front of to dim its glow, I waited for night to fall, then crept through the forest. then I crept through the forest to the clubhouse. I tried and failed to get into the locked art room. There was nothing I could do. Real life is never like in the novels, of course. It wouldn't be lying conveniently open. When the time for the teachers to make their patrols approaching, I withdrew. I lay in my bed that night thinking up possible ways to get in. But this is where things took a bit of a left turn because it seems that I was spotted loitering around the clubhouse. Since my getup was apparently reminiscent of the Green Hookman, an apparition considered one of the school's 7 mysteries, rumors quickly started to spread. I tried multiple times to find an opening I could slip through, but each time I was forced to give it up, either because there was already someone there dressed like me, or someone else was hanging around trying to catch the Hookman. But persistence always brings results eventually. I successfully infiltrated the building and made my way to the deserted art room under cover of darkness. When I first heard talk of the Hookman while I was still on the hunt for Mayuri's paintings, I'd been ashamed of how stupid I was being. I understand how sad you are to have lost her, but you should look forward to move on. That's what she would want. I could clearly recall Sister Basquiat's words, as though she were whispering them into my ear right then and there, but I was absolutely certain that was not the case. I had to know the reason she left, and then, when I saw the 3 pictures she painted, I knew I was right. There was one image of St. Joseph holding an infant Jesus. It was the only painting that had something written on the reverse of the canvas. On earth as it is in heaven. The instant I saw the words she had written on there, it felt like my world both expanded and contracted at once. I was certain that it was a message meant for me. After that long, meandering journey back through my memories, I mutter those words to myself again. On earth as it is in heaven. My voice doesn't sound like my own, and I have an ominous feeling as I hurry to meet the person I've called out here. What's going on? We gonna have a fight? Oh shit. Okay. The heavy sound of the words shatters the silence of the night, and I think back on that day. The day after the Feast of the Assumption, when I had accepted her. I feel a faint but definite anger at the fact this situation mirrors the day of the celebration. Like a glowing ember still carrying the heat of that day. I see a shadow at the far end of the chapel, close to the altar. Looks like she kept her word. My footsteps echo off the walls of the chapel in a steady rhythm, neither languid nor hurried. My eyes have already adjusted to the darkness. The shadow resolves into a recognizable figure. When I've confirmed the beautiful silver hair, the deep gray eyes, and cynical smile, I say her name.
夜分にお呼び立てしてすみません、八代先輩。
Well, well, well. Calling out Nakaya.
何構わないよ。何せ我が師の呼び出しだ。
She smiles her usual sardonic smile and spreads her arms like it's no big deal. Then she asks me what she's here for.
もしかして告白を受けるのかな。まあ、
I knew she was
ロ
gonna
ケー
go
シ
for
ョンと
that.
しては
I
ま
just
ず
knew
まず
it!
だしね。
八代先輩にどうしても尋ねなくてはならないことができたのです。答えてくれますか？
Sure, she says, still smiling. I tell Yatsushiro-senpai all about how I had been searching for the reason Mayuri left the academy, and how I had become the source of the Hookman rumors while I was trying to get my hands on Mayuri's paintings.
塞ぎ込んでいたスオウ君が元に戻ったのは、そういった理由があったのか。
She's so cool.
八重垣君もなかなかやるね。
She's so great. I love her so much.
美術室に忍び込んで持ち出したことは？
ああ、
Not exactly praiseworthy, but it's fine.
フックマン騒動はもう解決している。それに、理由が理由だ。
You had reasons.
美術部顧問の石塚教諭は堅くなだ。真正面からでは、僕が頼んでも無理だったろうしね。
She flashes me a reassuring smile, as relaxed as if she were forgiving me for forgetting her umbrella or something. Then,
それで、君が持っているという絵画には何が書かれていたんだい？
I intone the words again, on earth as it is in heaven.
天に行われるごとく、地に行われ
Yeah,
る。
that's from the Lord's Prayer. She asks me what I think the significance of its being written on the canvas could be.
よりは救いを求めている。天でも地でも等しく御心が届けられますようにと。この学院を天とするなら。
That's certainly a way of reading into it, yeah.
今まで不自然に消えてしまった者たちも同じように救いを求めているとしたら。
I try articulating the narrative that's emerging in my mind.
消えてしまったものとは、七不思議で消えた者たちのことかい？
I nod. I'm talking about all the third years who'd quit when Yatsushiro-senpai was a first year like me, and whose strange disappearances she had looked into. I also bring up the girls in my year who quit, sparking the whole Bloody Mary
そ
uproar.
れは、さすがに謙虚不快だと思うがね。
I agree that it's a bit forced, but the materials I've gathered so far tell me that it's correct, as does my own intuition. A slight tension flits across Yatsushiro-senpai's face, so slight I might well have missed it if I hadn't been paying attention. There's another point of favor in my that's another point of favor of my theory.
八代先輩は以前この学院の会議はさらうということに執着していると言いましたね。
ああ、確かに言ったが、それは
真のフックマンはバスキア教諭の前にも現れていたのです。
I was the original Hookman, and the ones who appeared after that were students, and the ones who appeared after that were students out on a dare. I'm sure that none of us would have purposefully appeared before Sister Basquiat to frighten her.
何が起こっているというんだスオ君。
私はこの件はフックマンという怪異を隠れ蓑にしたものの犯行だと思っています。そしてその
My
もの
oh
が
my.
マユリを損なわせた。
A faint but palpable anger simmers in me when I think how this situation mirrors that memorable day. I voiced the question I had resolved to ask when I called Yatsushiro Senpai out here.
3ヶ月ほど前、温室で頭を負傷する怪我をしましたよね。
Oh, we're coming back to this.
え？ああの時は迷惑をかけた。僕が起こした事故だったというのに、高坂君にも迷惑をかけてしまった。
There's a tension to her voice that would be easy to miss if I weren't looking for it.
あの時の事故は本当に事故だったのですか？
Oh, we're asking the real questions now. She can't answer. She's covering for someone herself. As the silence stretches on, I look first at Yatsushiro Senpai, then turn my gaze up at the figure of Christ on the cross as I ask.
この学院には聖母以外のマリアがいるのです。
The Virgin Mary is not the only Maria here at the Academy, is she? The goddess of truth. The tale continues in the next season. Oh, that's a hell of a place to just drop, dude! Oh, shit! Oh, that's a heavy one to just drop! That's a hell of a place to just drop your story, man. Oh, that's good! Oh, that's incredible. Visual novels are good, everybody. Especially like series that are well constructed. We still got 2 games left. Oh my god. Again, this is such a good title screen. Oh, it's so good. Well, all right. I do know there's a couple other things here we can look at. And I guess we'll go over some final thoughts since this is the finale. But the gallery has some stuff we can look at. We have comics that we can look at. These are really cute. I didn't do these the first time around because I was a lazy baby. Flowers Comic Theater Summer. So we go Wakey Wakey President. This is cute. She used to be my Uri's job, but wake up, Rika-san, wake up! 10 more minutes. Ah, looks like this really is the only way. Wake up, Rika. Oh, hey, this is where the Suo, this is where the Suo face comes from. In the Flowers Discord. How did I never notice that? I'm pretty, like, because I had seen these comics before. I don't know why I didn't remember that. Bastion terminality. So hot, I'm gonna die. It's the height of summer. Of course it's hot. This is a real good Erica face, too. This is also very good. I want to wear something cooler. The rules forbid anything other than our uniforms. But you know, that model I knew always seemed nice and cool in that outfit. Oh, what kind of outfit? The racetrack wife beater is very... Wife beater? Man, very good. I'm late. What's my excuse? I stayed up too late with Ringo. I went out early to catch beetles. No good. That's it. I can say I was praying and lost track of time. I'm late is because number 3. Go stand in the corner. Rip. All right, those are cute. All right. I guess that's all I was going to show. So I guess I'll sit here and ramble for a few minutes about some final thoughts on Le Volume sur Été. This was just an incredibly well put together story on the whole, I think. I think that it's obvious that the writer was able to kind of really pull things together a bit more. It definitely feels like that first game was a little loosey-goosey at times. But this one felt a lot more tight. Like the characters are more dialed in and vivid, and the growth was just very evident. I mean, like it was incredibly evident in our leads this time. Just 2 eccentric weirdos that keep the world at arm's length and do so to protect themselves, end up finding what they need in one another, and that further nurtures like the relationships that they have with others around them. I also like that, like, it was a real bumpy ride getting there. Like these two, like, they really struggled. They really struggled with those feelings and letting people in. They really struggled to like let that barrier down to let anybody in. And I have no doubt, that like, letting people in is scary. But I have no doubt that Dahlia putting them together as an ETA partner was for this specific purpose. Like she just strikes me as a really good people reader, and I think she just knew just instinctively that these two had what the other needed. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I also think that the actresses for Erika and Chidori especially did an incredible job of being both really sharp and incisive, but like softening over time. Like I'm not sure if that was like an intentional directing cue or if the actresses themselves like got a sense for the material, but either way, like it made their relationship feel very real. Like it is a car crash summer love story that like takes both of them by surprise, and they have like no choice to be caught up like in the collision. But yeah, this one absolutely top shelf, top to bottom. I don't have any complaints about this volume at all. Like this was damn near perfect, really. Like the intrigue and like the bigger picture is also starting to get real weird. It's like, what was all of that at the end? Like, what does Yuzuriha know? What is going on with her? Like she had an accident 3 months ago, but now there's this, like, it wasn't an accident. And it's the same person that, like, ended up scaring Dahlia or something. Like, what's going on here? Like, it was malicious. Somebody did something with malicious intent. A lot of questions floating around in the air now. Like we are very clearly in the thick of it now, and it's only gonna get thicker. So, I guess with that kind of being, I guess, the end of my thoughts here. In terms of when we'll be tackling the next volume, I would say we're probably going to do that in June or July. I don't really want to rush right in, and I have a few other projects I maybe want to do before that, so it'll probably be 2 or 3 months again before we're back in Flowers Land. So yeah, look for that soon. I'm excited to get to it though, so I hope you are as well, and I hope that you enjoyed the summer volume with me. Again, like this is definitely my favorite so far. This one definitely hit real good, like Erika being my favorite character really, and just her getting such an incredibly potent story that really like let her open up, but still remains very uniquely herself. Like she has that change, but it's never a change that makes you feel like she's not being true to herself, and I think that that's really important, and that's really, really, really good character writing. Chidori is an excellent addition to the cast. I look forward to seeing like more of these two going forward. So yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap things up. So if you came along for the ride, hey, thanks so much for doing so. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I did the material justice. I hope my weird diversions, thoughts, comments, and just absurdity and observations weren't enough to ruin the experience for you. I hope you had a good time, and thanks for coming out. I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, and we will catch you next time.